You've got to learn tax law. It's not something interesting, but it is vital. The biggest expense you're ever going to have in your life, especially if you have a business or any job, is going to be your taxes. But the government incentivizes you to do certain things that gives you serious tax deductions. That is also an investment that is going to produce you income. This is something that I think about a lot. I never actually talk about it, but I'll first tell you a story and then go into how I was at dinner with Tom Wheelwright, who is Robert Kiyosaki's accountant tonight on this cruise. So my first year paying taxes, I was working for George. I was making $4,000 a month, which was a lot of money for me. I didn't really have any expenses. He was paying for my little motel I was staying for in Arizona, and I was a 1099 employee, which basically meant I was an independent contractor. He was contracting out my business services to his business. And so you don't get taxes taken out of your paycheck. You pay all your taxes at the end of the year. And I was during the time halfway through the year, I started my own little side hustle businesses, but I was spending a lot of money because I was hiring people, I was trying new things. I My goal wasn't to make more money, but it was to just try and grow a business, and I was fine losing money up front to do that. And that was maybe 3 years ago. And so fast forward to the tax year, I owed, but I don't know. It was my first time really filing taxes, so I go into the little tax family office that my mom and dad go to, and they say, "Well, what do you do?" And I was telling them kind of the basics of what I do, and they said, "Well, do you have any tax write-offs?" And I had absolutely no clue what that meant. And so that day, I looked back at my receipts and I tried to figure out all the tax write-offs that I could potentially have. And that brought my taxable income down substantially, but I still owed about $6,000. And I remember that because I didn't have $6,000 at the time. I didn't even have close to that. I was completely broke because I wasn't keeping good documentation of all the things that I was doing. I had to pay a lot more tax than I was supposed to, because in reality, my taxable income was much lower because I wasn't actually making profit because I was hemorrhaging through cash. And all of that was tax deductible, which is huge because um, you can't pay money on something that you don't have if you were actually using this for business expenses, which I was. So after that year, I decided no matter how boring I think this is, and at the time I thought it was boring, since then I've changed my opinion pretty substantially. But I started to focus extremely cognizantly of what I spend my money on and writing down what I am doing. So tax year, I can show all my write-offs and it is substantially easier. So now every single thing that I do that is a business expense, and everything I do is a business expense. It is and all the travel I do, I'm doing it all for business. All the meals I get, I usually have some sort of client or someone that I work with there that I'm spending money on. So virtually every single dollar that I spend is a business expense, and I can write that off. That is humongous because it doesn't matter how much money you make; it matters how much money you keep. And I would rather make $300,000 and keep $300,000 than make $500,000 and keep $259,000. So it all depends on how you're structuring this stuff. And if you save more money, you're actually making more money at the end of the day. So fast forward to the dinner tonight, and I was talking to Tom Wheelwright and his wife, who are both CPAs and accountants. He's Robert Kiyosaki's guy. You might recognize him if you've kind of watched a lot of the business stuff. He's a bit more niche down. But we were going over these different concepts, and he was giving me an overall strategy that he think I could implement to um, better utilize what I'm currently doing. And one thing that I'm doing wrong is I am not taking pictures of the receipts when I purchase something. I'm just writing it down. If I get audited, I'm screwed. So I need to start writing down or I need to start taking pictures of every single receipt of every single purchase that I make, which is cumbersome, but it would be more cumbersome when I get audited. I say when, not if, because knowing what I do, it's just a matter of time until the fucking IRS comes for me. I hate those guys. That's another thing. I don't want to fund the beast. the beast, aka the government. When does the government actually utilize your funds well? Anyway, so I gotta go. It's so late. This conference has been great. Tomorrow's the last day. Tired as shit. Excited to get back to Colombia. Anyway, goodbye.